يعني أنا بس أبى أجيب عبرة من هذا الموضوع وأقول لكم شو الشيء الجميل فيه. لو الشيخ راشد الله يرحمه بيحجنا ويأخوه سايق يرحمه زين ما كان عنده تسامح. تعرفين لو ما كان في شيء اسمه تسامح والتعايش مع بعض دول كلمات بساطة ما لك شو ما نحن تربينا على أن نقدر نتسامح معه، أن نحن نتعايش مع بعض. ولا لو كنا نتزاعل مع بعض ما وصلنا نتيجة، ما وصلنا إلى ما وصلنا عليه اليوم.
The United Arab Emirates was founded on a bold and enduring belief that diversity is a source of strength and coexistence is what builds communities and empowers nations. Rooted in the legacy of the late Sheikh Zayed Al Nahyan and carried forward by the nation's leaders, this vision continues to light the path toward a more united world. In an age still shaped by conflict and division, the Menara Center for Coexistence and Dialogue was born to be something different. Not just a voice for peace, but a force for transformation, a force for hope. Where others see barriers, Menara builds bridges. Based in Abu Dhabi and guided by His Excellency Dr. Ali Rashid Al Hayyoumi, Menara is an international institution devoted to resolving conflict, advancing dialogue, and nurturing truly inclusive societies. We work where change is needed the most, at the intersection of education, research, dialogue, conflict resolution, partnerships, and community engagement, bringing people together across cultures, faiths, and generations to not only imagine, but build a more peaceful future. At Menara, coexistence isn't a slogan. It's a strategy, a responsibility, a call to action. That's why we train youth, equip educators, support researchers, and partner with change makers to move from words to action. Our flagship, the Menara Youth Coexistence Initiative, empowers young leaders from the Middle East, Africa, Asia, and beyond. It gives young change makers the tools to transform conflict into connection, passion into policy, and ideas into impact. From water diplomacy to peace media campaigns, these students are reshaping the story of our time with courage, creativity, and conviction. To date, Menara's work has reached over 480,000 people, forged partnerships in 9 countries, and elevated youth voices in more than 14 universities. But for us, this is just the beginning. We don't just talk about coexistence, we build it. We live it, we lead with it. Every single day. This is Menara, and these are our ambassadors of coexistence.
Wherever there is an opportunity to engage, to promote coexistence and bring people together, you will find Menara together.
Good evening, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, colleagues, and friends. On behalf of the Menara Center for Coexistence and Dialogue, it is my honor to welcome you to the Ambassadors of Coexistence Showcase, an evening that brings together remarkable young leaders from across the globe, united by a simple yet powerful conviction that peace is possible and coexistence is a choice we make every day. Tonight is about those who are daring to make that choice, boldly, creatively, and with open hearts. To open this evening, we are privileged to hear from 2 leaders who have not only championed the cause of coexistence, but have shaped it into a global priority. Please join me in welcoming His Excellency Dr. Ali Naimi, Chairman of the Menara Center for Coexistence and Dialogue.
Your Excellency, dear guest, my champion, the student, leaders of the future, I'd like to welcome you to this outstanding, great event hosted by an outstanding institution, the Sorbonne University. My gratitude and thanks to Professor Natalia, I don't see her because of the light. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to come here and engage through this outstanding institution. Last year, our event was hosted by NYU and now it's the Sorbonne. And this shows our commitment to work with education institutions and the way that we see the future through education. Our region and the world is going through so many conflicts. And we have a choice. Either to be part of this conflict and suffer like others, or make a choice that we may be part of the solution and engage and look at a promising future. In many meetings, friends, they say, Ali, you are very optimistic. We have to be optimistic because we believe in things. And the student who engage in these projects, these are our champions. These are the leader of the future. Those that we should empower, believe in, we show them that we trust them and we respect them and we accept that they have a role to play and engage. And this is why we are investing in these initiatives. Our partner, ADL, my friend Jonathan, thank you very much for your engagement, for your commitment, for your partnership. We see through this partnership, we are working to create a better future for everyone in the region and beyond. Those students, it was their personal will to engage, to participate in this project. This is why I feel that whatever we enjoy as a success, it is actually because of them. If it's not the student that came forward, decided to be part of engaging with us, to develop their own project. It is their own project. It's not our project. That's why we are here, because of these students. And the professor who mentored them also. These are champions. What we see, our message is this: the conflict in our region will not end. The conflict of yesterday is not the conflict of today. And the conflict that we are suffering today will not be the conflict in the future. So for us, we should not just sit and observe and watch. We should create our own path. We should have the courage to engage. And the way to move forward to the future is to invest in the youth and in the student. And this is where I want to thank the student, their family, and their professor. I know many of them, it was, a real challenge for them to be with us today. Maybe because they live in a very rural area, they suffer because of the traveling challenges, but they made it at the end. I want to thank them, thank their family, thank their professor, and tell them this. This is the start of our engagement with you. We believe in you. You are our partner. You are our champion, and you are the leader of the future. Thank you very much.
Followed by Mr. Jonathan Greenblatt, CEO and National Director of the Anti-Defamation League.
Good evening. Dear Chancellor of Sorbonne University, Excellencies, Ambassadors, esteemed faith and civil society leaders, my friend, His Excellency, Dr. Ali Al-Nuaimi, the Menara team, and all of our distinguished guests.
It is a true privilege to be here in Abu Dhabi with a delegation from the ADL Board of Directors and members of our senior leadership team. We're honored to stand here alongside all of you to celebrate the extraordinary work of the Menara Center, an initiative we are proud to partner with and champion. For those of you unfamiliar with our organization, the ADL, or Anti-Defamation League, is the oldest nonprofit, anti-hate nonprofit in America. It was founded in 1913 with a simple but timeless mission: to stop the defamation of the Jewish people and to secure justice and fair treatment to all. Today, more than a century later, ADL is a global leader in combating anti-Semitism, extremism, and all forms of hate, using innovation, partnerships, and technology to drive impact and advance inclusive societies. This is why the work of Menara resonates so deeply with us. Menara's Ambassadors of Coexistence are living examples of the values that we fight for every day: dignity, dialogue, and the belief that change starts with the courage of individuals, especially young people, who step up and lead. Menara, the very name, is a symbol of bringing a light onto the world. And at Menara, we invest in the power of education and moral leadership to counter extremism and create more resilient and stronger communities. At a time when, as Dr. Ali said, the world and this region is enduring deep pain and profound challenges, Menara stands as a beacon of hope. It reminds us that even in moments of darkness, we can choose to create light. We were proud to launch Menara in partnership with the UAE in 2023, and we are proud to be an ongoing part of the Menara story. And we are proud and moved by the fact that this initiative did not pause when conflict erupted on October the 7th. Menara did not retreat in the face of fear. Instead, it pressed forward with conviction, with compassion, and with courage. That started with you, Your Excellency. And your model of leadership infuses everyone involved in Menara with the hope that we can move forward together. And the resilience speaks volumes about the strength of the partners gathered here and the values that guide this work. I want to take a moment and build on my comment a moment ago to recognize and express our deep admiration for His Excellency Dr. Ali Al-Nuaimi. His unwavering commitment to tolerance, dignity, and peaceful coexistence. It's not only visionary, it's brave.
Yeah.
It's brave in a world that often rejects people coming together. It's brave in a world that seems to prize conflict over collaboration. It's brave in a world where we face growing extremism and rising bias. And yet, despite it all, Dr. Ali has not flinched. He leads with integrity and principle, and his example, it inspires us all. All of us at ADL, Dr. Nuaimi, are deeply honored to work alongside your distinguished leadership. But tonight, above all, as Dr. Nwami said, we are here to celebrate you, the students, who choose to lean in when so many others step back, who, rather than submit to indifference, you are choosing to make a difference. You are the true ambassadors, not only of coexistence, but courage. Carry the values of mutual respect and shared humanity back to your homes, your schools, your campuses, and indeed your countries. The ripple effects of your leadership will be felt for years to come. As we originally envisioned, Menara indeed is making good on the promise of bringing together students and professors from the Middle East, North Africa, East Asia, and Sub-Saharan Africa. Participants describe the transformative, eye-opening, and deeply personal experience, and they return home better equipped to confront bias when they see it, more confident in leading dialogue, and more empowered to foster change. Because this is actually how hearts and minds are one. Not through top-down declarations or sensationalist headlines, but through collaboration and connection, through joint projects and mutual learning, and through the slow, sometimes tedious, but indisputably enriching magic that happens when young people work together, shoulder to shoulder, side by side, day in and day out, and take in their shared humanity. You see, that's peacemaking. It might not be as scalable, as software, or as sexy as social media, but that's actually the operating system of our most successful societies and what has allowed them to survive and thrive, to achieve and advance over thousands of years. It takes courage, and you are the courageous young leaders who are using that code to build a better tomorrow. And all of us are in your debt for that. So tonight, we're coming together to witness that future being written right in front of us. Again, not by politicians, not by pundits, but by change makers who sit among us here. And so again, to our partners in the UAE and from across the region, thank you for your bold vision. Thank you for your unwavering partnership. And thank you for your unswerving conviction that we could bring people together despite the conflict raging around us. And to all of the participants here tonight, thank you for your bravery, your dedication. Thank you for the hope that you represent. And to everyone who's here this evening, let's continue to choose light over darkness, peace over conflict, love over hate, and to build a future grounded in mutual respect, shared humanity, and the common good. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency and Mr. Greenblatt, for your leadership and unwavering commitment to building a more inclusive and just world. Your words tonight set the tone for what this generation is capable of achieving. We now move to the heart of our program, where the voices of youth take center stage. This segment highlights youth-led initiatives from universities across 4 regions, each responding to the challenge of coexistence in unique and context-specific ways. Allies of Coexistence, our partnership program. From Nigeria, the American University of Nigeria presents Ubuntu for Peace, and the Drum for Harmony, grounded in the African principle of shared humanity.
You. This is single. How many will spend time?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bilkisu Abdulnadir Abkali, and I am the secretary and spokesperson here at Ubuntu Peace. Our name Ubuntu comes from the Bantu word meaning I am because you are. And what this does is it highlights our collective belief in a shared community on the basis of our humanity as people. Here at Ubuntu, we don't believe in the one-size-fits-all approach. We reject the notion that coexistence has one distinct universal blueprint. And our entire focus with our host community has been on engaging with and having our host community engage with us as Ubuntu. What we've done is astounding. And our host community, Ode, they are a complex community, picked because of their diversity. They are located near our university, and what they are is they are 3-in-1 community. That is 3 distinct communities known collectively as Ode. They have 3 distinct groups, that is the Fulanis, they are herders, and they are nomadic. But the Veres, they are initially the settlers in Ode and they are farmers, and finally internally displaced persons escaping the 2009 Boko Haram war. Finally, in terms of religion, they are both Muslim and Christian in faith. As you can imagine, this makes Ode a hotspot of conflict and crisis and tension, and it is for that specific reason that we chose them.
My name is Samuel Sebastian. I'm a project manager from Ubuntu for Peace. We've identified 3 problems and solutions for Ubuntu for Peace, which are farmers' herders clashes, water scarcity, and also deforestation. Farmers' herders clashes, we've built peace building workshop for farmers' herders clashes. For water scarcity, we are building 2 new boreholes and also fixing 4 new wells. For deforestation, we are planting 1,000 economic trees. We did all this for peaceful coexistence.
I'm Isaac Simon, and I'm the team lead Ubuntu for Peace. As part of our community development engagement, we have reached out and we have collaborated to 15 partners to support our drive in promoting peace and coexistence. The focus area of our campaign is to combat the issue of farmers and herders clashes, water scarcity, and deforestation. Part of the approach that we have adopted is to engage in peace dialogue, peaceful workshop, and training in communities and schools. We have also engaged and built a peaceful coexistence with community leaders, religious leaders, students, farmers, and herders. Our research focused more on workshop and also need assessment survey. We had a focus group discussion in communities and also in rural areas and also in schools. This approach, we felt it was the best option for us to reach out to the locals and to also find preferable solutions to these problems.
I'm Khadiza Wanabashi, and I'm the head of partner relations at Ubuntu Friendlies. In order for us to make meaningful impact, we have categorized our partners and co-allies of coexistence into 3 categories. Category 1, we have our foundation, the American University of Nigeria, its host community of Wole, and the secondary school of our university as well. Category 2, we have 5 secondary and primary schools that are underprivileged, unfortunately. And we believe that it's important to make these partnerships because true peace, true coexistence starts with the young and often forgotten. Category 3, we have 15 non-governmental organizations that we have partnered with. Some of them focusing on deforestation, some of them focusing on desertification, focus on clean access to water, skill acquisition, and vocational training for the youths, but especially those that focus on peace building. For our social media reach, we have been able to garner over 70,000 reach in just a short period of time that we've launched our campaign. We also have a website, shout out to our IT team back in Nigeria that's student-based as well, that created an amazing website.
My name is Giwachin Nasibina, and I serve as the research and report manager for Ubuntu for Peace. So to begin with, we have understood that there's a theoretical knowledge and there's a practical use. We have decided that it's not just about different areas. We would learn from the schools and we would take up the knowledge, get the outside world. To this end, we have used the primary data and the secondary data. We have also understood that our definition of peace is not what their definition of peace is. So we had gone to these communities to interact with them, to understand what the problems really were, and to ensure that we come to a viable solution that is sustainable. For our secretary data, we had read books, we had read articles, credible articles and credible books, And then we had also consulted with one of our partners, IJDPC, which had regarded and understood that we needed these solutions. We have presented us with data, reliable data that has been updated over time, and this data is what we have used. Also, we have tend to understood that there are challenges even as a team, but I'm proud to say that we have overcome them, and we have had a lot of successful events. First is the lead assessment. The second is we had a launch. This launch was the start of a beautiful journey for us. Second, we have also understood the need to start our tree planting. We had over 100 trees planted as of last week Tuesday by Liverpool Primary School. We have also begun to repair the boreholes and new wells. Fifth is that we have the peace building workshops, where the IJPC team had a 2 days workshop where they had taught these people of the Bone community the need to dialogue, the need to communicate properly, and the need for no war, the need for no conflict. And I can boldly and proudly say, on behalf of my team, that through our movement of the Daughter for Peace, this Bone community have used their own foundation called the Gamtun the Midway, which means in peace we live. ATL Manara, I can boldly tell you and I can guarantee you that just as you have been the source of light in your communities all over the world, we would become the source of light.
In the kids, what has bullying taught us? What it has taught us one very key important lesson, and that is, if you want to build, you must build with the people. Coexistence cannot exist in a vacuum, in isolation of the people. It's not enough to know what the solutions are. You must include the people you want to help along the way. That is why, and that has been our main focus. That is why throughout our 3 months here, the people of Mone, they are the ones that are planting the 1,000 trees. They are the ones that are digging and repairing the boreholes. They are the ones that have attended our workshops. They're leaders, they're chancellors, they're hakimis, and they are the ones taking what they've learned back to their community. They are the ones inspired by our work that have gone back and opened their own peace-building organization to sustain our work long after we have gone. Because the truth is, coexistence, for it to be sustainable, it's not enough for the people to support it. They must own it.
With our tactics and strategy, we are actually seeking out for partnerships and collaborations from individuals and corporate organizations. With the long-term goals, our project is seeking to create clubs in schools and also engage communities in various activities through skill acquisition, community engagement, and various activities. We also plan to construct wells and also repair boreholes in these communities. On a long-term scale, planting tree drive is on a start. We are actually pushing forward to reach out to more communities and to have an engagement society. Without peace, there is no settlement. And with this, to everyone in this building, we all have to accept diversity to promote peace.
And finally, Almanara, we are Ubuntu for Peace, and we are here because you are. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now moving on to our research-focused program, Lives of Coexistence. From India, O.P. Jindal Global University explores the Indian case of coexistence, reflecting on the complexity and richness of its pluralistic identity.
Namaskar and good evening, everyone. What is coexistence? When you think of the term, what comes to your mind? A dialogue table at the United Nations, a peace accord between the communities. But if you think about it, can it be associated with a Hindu woman revering before a shrine of a Sufi saint, seeking peace? I hope by the end of our presentation, you are able to find an answer to this question. Our presentation is based on a 25-page research report created by a group of 5 people from different parts of India. And it is titled, The Indian Case of Coexistence. Pir Baba Ki Dargah, the living tradition of Ganga Yamuna Tehzeeb. Pir Baba Ki Dargah is a holy shrine located in the quaint neighborhood of Sonipat, Haryana, just 15 minutes away from our university, OB Jindal Global University. Haryana in specific and North India in general has received quite a lot of media traction owing to instances of political polarization and societal divisions erupting. While it is important to address these issues, we often tend to overlook the existing examples of coexistence in the Indian fabric quite naturally at localized levels.
So when we first started our research project, we started with the Indian concept of coexistence, which is Ganga Yamuna Tehzeeb, which simply refers to the syncretic fusion of different cultures and traditions. The phrase comes from the confluence of two rivers, namely Ganga and Yamuna, in the northern part of India, which symbolizes this fusion. Also, the term has been used by various researchers and academicians over the years to refer that the cultures, like these two rivers, keep their distinct identities without letting one subsume to the other. After finalizing our theoretical framework, we have conducted an extensive field research study wherein we conducted semi-structured interviews with 19 of the respondents. Throughout the study period, we have gained major insights which are shown here. First is kind of a challenge that we faced because just 2 of the respondents out of the 19 were women, which signifies the cultural sensitivity in the region that we conducted the study in. The second insight was that in that shrine, the majority of the population that go to the shrine belongs to the age group of 30 to 50 years of age and includes the working population, which signifies that people who are aspirational in life, who wants to do well for themselves and grow and provide better to their families, go to the shrine and seek blessing of the saint.
Now this research was conducted over a span of 6 months, and we would visit the shrine every Thursday and in the evening. Now, why Thursday? Because Thursday is considered to be a sacred day, irrespective of the religion, for all Indians. And apart from that, we would go over there, talk to the people, understand the stories, and also understand the place. Now, to understand the place, what we would do first is actually go to the local store or the vendor that would sit outside. We would buy a few stuff like the chadar, the diyas, the prasads, a few flowers and agarbattis or incense sticks. We would buy them and then get inside the shrine. We would get inside the shrine and then right over the foot of the tomb, we would place the flowers and then touch the feet and then move towards the side of the tomb, lay the chadar and sprinkle a bit of water, which signifies certain Islamic traditions. After that, we would exit the tomb and move towards lighting the diya as well as the incense sticks, which signify certain Hindu rituals. Now, after that, let's say I have a certain dream of getting a job somewhere, so I would write my wish down on a piece of paper and hang it over the tree, and that would be called as a mannat. After writing this, after tying it down, what would I do? I would come again the next day and repeat the same practice.
The 3 key findings from my research is number 1, the ritual and space convergence. So there was no spatial demarcation separating the people. First, the rituals associated with Hinduism and Islam were practiced and performed side by side at the shrine. Even the structure itself incorporated Hinduism and Islamic features such as the dome structure and the Hindu deity symbol on the walls. Second is participatory governance and social inclusion. The shrine was maintained through a community-led model without formal religious authority or institutional oversight. A strong manifestation of this has been the Bhandara, which is an annual community meal where people from all caste, class, religious and occupational background would come and prepare the meal together, perform the rituals together, and at the end have a shared experience of eating together on the floor reinforcing the power of equality, tolerance, and togetherness. The third one is oral narration. This one was the devotees would express their stories of miracles and healing power of the shrine. A strong manifestation again was when the caretaker of the shrine told that there was this demolition activity due to state-led development, which was halted because of the divine intervention and the strong local community resilience. The fact that people were able to do this function based on the legitimacy and grounded on collective memory which has been passed on for generations.
I would now like to ask our wonderful audience present here, I would like to ask you to take a step back and sort of introspect within yourselves. How often have we been tempted as a society to equate religious coexistence with state policies of secularism? I believe it must be happening very often, right? What the key findings from our research present is that such informal spaces of religious coexistence actually are able to flourish because of the embedded practices which are inherent in these spaces, and also because they are anchored to community values thoroughly. We see how when we visit the shrine, the visitors who come there, they belong to different social, political, cultural, and economic backgrounds, and yet they are expressing individual agency by being a part of this gathering. We see how folklores about faith and devotion are passed down across generations. And we see how this shrine, located at a very quaint neighborhood, actually becomes a living, breathing ecosystem of pluralism. And our research is also at a very timely interjunction, because we see secular spaces across the world shrinking day by day. And we therefore propose two calls to action. Firstly, we propose that we need to expand the analytical lens through which we look at religious coexistence itself. We need to focus on researching and documenting such informal sites of coexistence. And secondly, we need to protect such spaces and allow them to flourish so that they can coexist with formal institutions. We conclude with one prominent thought. Across the world, even in India, as political polarization increases and religion becomes instrumentalized across public discourse, this research enables us to learn that social cultural values are actually the defining factors which enable religious coexistence to be resilient across the Indian subcontinent. We need to see pictures of we leave you with a few pictures of our project, and we hope to engage with you further on how to promote this wonderful initiative. Thank you very much.
Thank you. From Israel, Rehman University showcases a program focused on promoting resilience and faith and empathy.
I'm using separate best I see. That's how goes it. So I've got translated as well.
Hello to all and good afternoon. We are the Rehman University delegation. My name is Zara, and on behalf of me, Oli and Jacob, I am honored to be standing here in front of such an esteemed crowd in order to tell you guys about our 20-page research paper. Social media and digital platforms have become our world, and it's changed the world as we know it too. On the one hand, it has allowed us to bring people together, to create dialogue, as well as build communities. But on the other hand, you have hostile groups who come and spread lies, hatred, and misinformation. The youth and the people young of today young people who are always on social media are the most exposed to this and therefore most affected.
Our research question aims to take this challenge head on. How can improving media literacy skills improve the psychological resilience of high school students in the different educational sectors in Israel? We aim to provide practical and meaningful tools to not only help educators and students navigate in the digital landscape in a more mindful manner, but to also help them become more open to coexistence. Our research is grounded in 3 core concepts. The first is psychological resilience. This refers to the ability to adapt, rise, and grow in the face of adversity. The second, cognitive reappraisal. This is the ability to take a step back from an emotionally charged situation, take a deep breath, and approach the situation in a clear, objective mind. It is our responsibility as ambassadors of coexistence to light the way for the youth and their future.
But how do we tackle this research question? We went to the streets and asked Israeli teenagers aged 13 to 18 what they thought. Respondents were asked a series of questions related to both coexistence and resilience. These questions were then formatted into an index, and then these indices were cross-referenced against all 3 major education groups in Israeli society. Our findings are as follows. Arab Israeli teenagers showed the highest level of psychological resilience and coexistence, followed by secular Jewish Israeli students and religious Jewish Israeli students. These findings allow us to target individual groups for better education frameworks and provide the youth of today the tools they need to tackle the media of today. Our conclusion is simple. When we provide young people the tools they need to take in difficult media, the effect of negative media exposure is lessened and psychological resilience is increased.
Who here likes pizza? Like I suspected, most of you. But why am I asking this? Because that is exactly how I began our conversation with the education director of Kids for Peace, Jerusalem. Kids for Peace is a grassroots initiative that brings together the communities of the Arab and Jewish youth of Israel. So, pizza. That is an example of a shared experience which allows us to humanize the person that we're looking at and we're standing behind the screen. That helps us promote empathy as well as reduce bias. These practices help us aid media literacy because it teaches the students how to identify what is real and what is fake. Because at the end of the day, resilience is no longer just emotional, it is digital.
So how do we tackle these difficult issues? These are not just when we provide students with the tools they need to tackle media exposure, we allow them to understand better the world around them. By giving them the tools such as story and rethinking programs, giving them information on the story of the person on the other side of the phone, emotional regulation strategies, taking in difficult information, digesting it, and using it as a learning moment for themselves and to provide to their community. And cross-cultural exchanges allow our students the ability to understand one another, increase psychological resilience, and increase their openness to coexistence.
Young people are the future, and their digital landscapes shape that future every single day. If we want to live in a society that moves beyond bigotry, beyond fear, beyond ignorance, then our education systems must evolve and rise to this challenge together. These changes are not only possible, they are necessary. When children open their phone, do they have the ability to understand what is misinformation and what is truth? Do they know to take a step back and take a deep breath when faced with harmful content? Or do they use that as a moment, as an opportunity to understand? Let's give them the tools, not to just consume media, but to grow from it, from learning from it, to use it as a base for dialogue, peace, and coexistence. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And from Azerbaijan, Western Caspian University proposes the Azerbaijani model of tolerance against religious discrimination and intolerance, drawing from the historical and policy frameworks.
Hello everyone, we are Ülker Hanzadeh, our wonderful advisor Güney Rahimli, and I'm Günay Hiridarlı from Azerbaijan. Today we are excited to present our project about our country's rich history of coexistence, highlighting how different religious and cultural communities have lived together peacefully for centuries. I would like to start our presentation with a map to show where Azerbaijan is. Azerbaijan is located at the crossroads of East and West, and it helps create multicultural society. What does coexistence look like in Azerbaijan? Why is our research topic so relevant? Our research project enhanced a deep understanding of how interfaith relations can play a positive role in a complex religious and secular world. At a time when many societies face different challenges like discrimination and division, we believe Azerbaijan offers a positive example of how tolerance and respect can be built through education and shared history. Azerbaijan's history of coexistence goes back centuries. For example, Church of Kish, founded by Apostle Elzeus in the 1st century, is the oldest church in the Caucasus, or Juma Mosque, dating back to 743 AD, is the second oldest mosque in Caucasus, and oldest one in Azerbaijan. Kırmızı Kasaba Synagogue reflects deep roots of Jewish community. Looking at history, we can see that despite Safavid Empire being an Islamic country, European visitors proposed the Safavid tolerance model as an example for Europe. This tolerance manifested itself in open debates between Christian missionaries and Muslim clerics, and even in frescoes of Vatican Palace. In this image, Robert Shirley, Englishman and Safavid ambassador, the resident Safavid attire with crucifix is a strong interreligious symbol of identity. These frescoes, illustrations, reflect how tolerance and diplomacy were expressed through shared art, faith, and fashion. Tolerance and coexistence are reflected in the Azerbaijani constitution, which was adopted in 1995. Article 18 ensures religious freedom, secularism before the law.
In our methodology part, we examined both written documents by foreign travelers and visual art. As Jane Watkins said, diplomacy is closely linked to art, culture, and education. We used both of the methods when we did our research. For qualitative data, we had an interview with the director of Baku Multiculturalism Center, Ravan Hasanov, which also got published on one of the news websites of Azerbaijan. In his interview, Ravan Hasanov mentioned that Azerbaijan has a long history when it comes to multiculturalism and coexistence. However, unfortunately, we haven't been able to understand the value of it until now. At the same time, to give an example to his sentence, he said that, for example, French Secretariat of Jewish Community mentions that I am Jewish at home, but outside I am just a Frenchman. However, when it comes to the director of our Jewish community, he says, you don't need to worry about those things. You can be Jew at home and outside home as well. Apart from our interview with Ravan Hasanov, we also had a survey among 60 students in order to measure the level of bias among students. which was pretty interesting to do because we found out that the student has a very low level of bias and hatred towards other religions. In order to foster students' views on multicultural society and coexistence, we had seminars held by our advisor Gilal Rahimli, which helped us even to increase it more among students and among our teachers as well.
Yeah.
Apart from it, we also invited the director of Christian Union Community of Azerbaijan, Robert Mobili, to our university. In a seminar held by Robert Mobili, he said that Azerbaijan doesn't only try to protect cultural heritage of other nations in the country, they also try to include them in law, education, and policy by making sure that they have all of the chances that they can use. For example, in Azerbaijan, there are more than 30 ethnic groups, and most of them are able to speak in their own languages freely. They can even have their own schools. In the end, we also got our paper published in the international conference called Humanities and Social Sciences in the 21st Century, which we will be participating from 23rd of May until 25th. And we are proud to say that multiculturalism and multicultural society is something that always needs to be evolving. And when it comes to the examples from history, we need to take good examples, such as Safavid tolerance. Thank you very much for your attention. We are proud to be part of this project.
The Union-based Bridges of Coexistence, our campaign program. From the symbolic to the artistic, we now shift to a creative lens on dialogue. Representing Haifa University, our manifesto is a compelling look at how identity, belief, and aesthetics intersect in public spaces.
I was saying that is but it's really tricky. The adding of the same thing to the union and the like seats.
So, hello everyone. I'm Sandra. This is Michelle and Yasmina. We are fashion students from the fashion department at the Haifa University in Israel. Our project is called Religious Tolerance Through Fashion. We are all really honored for being here today to present for you our daily life at our campus.
So great to touch. But then, go on.
So, as a people who always wanted to study fashion, at the beginning, I think we thought it's going to be about the basic things we all know, like sewing, fabrics, maybe colors, and some styling. But when we started studying, we realized that's what's going to give our journey, take our journey to its next level. It's the diversity of students that are all studying together at the same place, at the same spot, and sharing the same common classroom. So for me, as an Arab Christian who's studying with students that are from all religions, like Jewish, Christian, Jews, and Muslims, it makes me just really proud to have this opportunity to share my voice and see that our voices are being heard while we are telling about different traditions, our different backgrounds, and our different beliefs, and seeing the respect through the students' eyes. It's just not something that I have ever expected, I think. So for us, it's not coexistence, it's shared existence.
Fashion. When we talk about fashion, we usually think about trends or personal styling. But what if it could be more than that? What if fashion can be a tool for creating, for storytelling, and even for a social change? And this is the idea behind our project. What's special about our fashion design department is the incredible diversity. The diversity doesn't stand just side by side. It It fuels creativity. Fashion is not just a piece of clothing. Fashion is the way to tell a story of each of our students, and to inspire our emotions, creativity, through our designs, through cuts, shapes, and patterns. And today we have the honor to present Yasmina's project. Yasmina's project, which shows how fashion can make the invisible visible.
Take good. Just even.
Hi, I'm Yasmina. I'm from Ras Shams Golan Heights, which it's on the Israel-Syrian border. My design is about deep personal pain. It's my pain and my family pain from living on the border. My family is divided, so I have half of them are in Syria and the other half is in Israel today. So I have aunts, uncles, cousins that I've never met. I have just heard stories about them, and those stories came from the Hell of Shouts, where it's on the Syrian side, where people stand shouting, waving, and trying to connect with the other family side, which is in Israel, through microphones and other devices. And I think it's very hard to describe this feeling, to be far away from your other house of family, and to feel there. So as a fashion student, I tried to express those feelings and emotions through fabrics, textures, cutting, pattern cutting, through a lot of materials. And one of those materials was iron mesh, which represent the border. And I choose that gold and bronze colors to give that value for those memories and those people. One more thing that I want to highlight, that behind this project, or this successful project, there is diversity, collaboration, and coexistence, which is what we living now in our daily life in the campus in the University of Haifa. And thank you all. Toda rabba, shukran. Enjoy our video.
The University of Haifa's Fashion Design Department merges creativity with coexistence, bringing together Jews, Arabs, Druze, Muslims, and Christians to collaborate on innovative designs. By celebrating diversity, the program uses fashion as a powerful tool to promote cultural understanding and unity. Students not only create unique designs, but also shape a more inclusive future through collaboration and purpose-driven work.
באוניברסיטה אנחנו עובדים יחד בקבוצות.
المشاريع اللي احنا بنعملها بالجامعة هون بتعكس الثقافات المختلفة الموجودة بالجامعة، وكل تجربة بالنسبة لنا هي تجربة جديدة ومشروع جديد. For me, coexistence is not just words, it's a way of life.
באמצעות האומנות שלנו ומי שאנחנו ואיך שאנחנו מבטאים את עצמנו, בלי שום הבדל בין גזע, דת וכל דבר אחר. יש כאן את הבמה הזאת, וזה מה שחשוב.
أنا بشوف كيف إنه بنصنع الأشياء بشكل متميز حتى لو إحنا مختلفين.
הגיוון של האוכלוסייה ושל האנשים כאן ניתן את ההשראה ואת המקום האחר להבין את הצד השני ובעצם למצוא נקודה אחרת.
العمل هون في الجامعة بين ديانات وحضارات مختلفة دائما بيعطيني أفكار جديدة اتطور من خلالها.
تقبلوا التدريج مش بيتساعدك. شغلة فرمية اسمينا أنا من غلط البلان لأشهر زبادة تعتسميني خايا بين شتاء ولا موت ولا بشي بتوخى جدار ولا بشي سيجارة كوليكسة شاهد ثابتة بمسجرة المداعي سوق فلان مسابقة على الجدوع مسابقة على جدار المفردة بنفرغت ليون جدار شان حيد جدار لغة بالمدير أتنولي إتاع كليم لفوق سيبور مركب لي يتصيرا باللي بديك أف بمساوت يوفي باللي خزيك إتاع يخلط حقومتي تشري دلخا كليم شبائي معزوجي ويهابدا على دايجن خزكاتي بأهدرين للمديم شرين عزرولي الفتاخة الرعيون بالكابير تي بيتا سبور شريك موشيان اني مدقشان شان مفقاش شان اناشيم يخالد التطبع اكاديميا نترني عربية روح بيستحتي لتصوري تساع شيد كل اخي شيد أبلغار بلاف كل كخا بيعدشو
لو شفت التصميم عن جد مميز عن جد وصل الأفكار تعرفت على حضارات جديدة.
הייצור חשף בפניי תרבות חדשה שלא הכרתי לפני כן.
قدرت أفهم كيف التصميم ممكن يوصل رسالة معينة في عمل. داخل اليوم الثاني وإيش نحن نقول نتجاوب شو اللي بحال ياخد لما تشرح مشروعين.
وهيك أنا قدرت إني أوصل قصتي للطلاب الموجودين معي يعني يدعموني شجعوني وبنفس الوقت تعرفوا على ثقافة جديدة وفي نفس الوقت تعرفت كمان على ثقافتهم بالرغم من الاختلافات الموجودة ديانية نتعلم كلياتنا سوا بالعكس ناخذ من بعض إيحاءات بعدين ونساعد بعض وندعم بعض قدر ما
We for one round of applause to these incredible ambassadors of coexistence. To bring our evening to a close, I now invite to the stage the Executive Director of the Manara Center for Coexistence and Dialogue, Ms. Bafita Al-Rifi.
As we come to the end of this remarkable gathering, I want to take a moment to reflect. Not on just what we've discussed today, but on what has been ignited by these amazing and inspiring students. This wasn't just a conference. This wasn't just a showcase. It was a spark lit by the youth in Africa, in Asia. Young people that have proven that coexistence isn't just a theory, isn't just an idea, isn't something we just recite. It's something we live, it's something we build, it's something we dare to protect. And may I dare to say, as a youth from this region, and as someone from this region, we are done waging the wars that are not ours. We are done carrying the hatred of dead people we have never met. We've listened to the ideas rooted in courage. We've seen the projects born out of compassion. We've witnessed bridges being built between communities that the world too often see as divided. But here, in this space, in this showcase, we saw what happens when we choose to listen rather than label. When we choose to collaborate rather than retreat and hide. And let me be clear. I've said this before and I will say it again. This is just the beginning for the Manara Center for Coexistence and Dialogue. We've been here for 2 years and our ambitions carry the world and carry the ambitions of these students. Everything we've seen today, every story, every plan, every handshake, every project, every video, every slide, tells us one thing. And I've been taught by these students one thing, that the future is already in motion. And it's being shaped by all of you ambassadors of coexistence. Coexistence isn't just the task of youth alone, isn't just the task of one sector, isn't just the task of one field, which is politicians and policymakers, or by one generation. It is a shared responsibility by us all. One that, when placed in the hands of educators, artists, lawmakers, tech innovators, and community builders, they respond not only with obligation, but with creativity, as we see when these two come with vision, with courage. They don't just carry the message, they transform it. So what comes next? We keep going. We support these initiatives. We expand on them. We build new partnerships. We make sure the voices we heard today echo far beyond the walls of this auditorium, into policy, into communities, into lasting impact too. I know I'm the only thing standing between you at dinner, so I will keep it short. On behalf of all of us at the Menorah Center for Coexistence and Dialogue, first, thank you to our ambassadors of coexistence for your ideas, for your energy, for your belief in the possibility of something better, for your belief in the possibility of a better future. Second, thank you to our partnerships. Thank you to our partners, ADL and EBP. Without partners, without holding each other's hand, without joining forces, none of this can be possible. And thank you all in attendance today for showing your support for our ambassadors of coexistence and this initiative. Let's carry this momentum forward. The work doesn't end here. If anything, it just begun. Thank you.
Thanks and so much for your inspiring words and heartfelt message. I would like to please call onto the stage His Excellency Dr. Mary Nairi and Mr. Jonathan Greenblatt to the stage to award the students for their outstanding contributions to peace and coexistence.